Jacqueline Lee Bouvier was born on July 28, 1929. She entered a world of wealth and social standing. Her father, John Verneau Black Jack Bouvier III, was a stockbroker. Her mother, Janet Norton Lee, was a socialite. Jackie spent her early years in New York City and East Hampton. She lived in large, beautiful homes. She learned to ride horses at a very young age, and honestly, her skill in equestrian sports was remarkable. She won several national championships. This early life of discipline and grace shaped the woman she would become. It gave her a sense of poise that people would later admire around the world. Her parents' marriage was not always happy. They fought often, and their eventual divorce deeply affected young Jackie. This experience taught her to be strong and independent. She developed a quiet and reserved nature. She learned to hide her feelings behind a calm exterior. She found comfort in books and in her own imagination. Jackie and her younger sister Lee were very close. They supported each other through difficult family times. This bond remained strong throughout their lives. Her mother later remarried Hugh D. Auchincloss, a wealthy lawyer, bringing more stability to their lives. Jackie's education was of the highest quality. She attended the best private schools. First, she went to the Chapin School in New York City. Then, she attended Miss Porter's School in Connecticut. She was a good student. She loved to read and write poetry. She also had a talent for drawing. Her friends remembered her as clever and witty. She was known for her sense of humor. Her education was not just about academics. It was about preparing her for a certain kind of life. It taught her social graces and refined her tastes. After finishing school, Jackie continued her studies. She went to Vassar College for 2 years. Then she spent her junior year in France. She studied at the Sorbonne in Paris. This year abroad was very important for her. She fell in love with French culture. She perfected her French language skills. She deepened her appreciation for art, history, and fashion. This experience would later influence her work as First Lady. It gave her a worldly perspective. It also helped shape the unique style that would make her famous. She returned to the United States and graduated from George Washington University. In 1952, Jackie met a young and ambitious congressman. His name was John F. Kennedy. They were introduced at a dinner party in Washington, D.C. He was charming and handsome. She was intelligent and beautiful. There was an immediate connection between them. They began dating, and their romance quickly became serious. A year later, in September 1953, they were married. The wedding was a major social event. It was called the Wedding of the Year. Jackie was now part of one of America's most powerful political families. She had to learn to navigate this new and demanding world. When John F. Kennedy became president in 1961, Jackie became the First Lady. She was only 31 years old. She brought a new sense of youth and glamour to the White House. The Kennedy years were often called Camelot. This was a time of hope and excitement. Jackie played a key role in creating this image. She was a devoted mother to her 2 young children, Caroline and John Jr. She tried to protect them from the pressures of public life. She wanted them to have a normal childhood. The American people loved seeing her as a mother and a wife. One of Jackie's greatest achievements was the restoration of the White House. When she arrived, she felt the mansion lacked a sense of history. She wanted to make it a beautiful home that reflected the nation's past. She formed a committee to find historic furniture and art. She raised money for the project. In 1962, she gave a famous televised tour of the restored rooms. Millions of people watched. They were impressed by her knowledge and her passion. She made Americans proud of their history. Her work preserved the White House for future generations. As First Lady, Jackie also became a global fashion icon. Her style was simple, elegant, and modern. She wore clothes from American and French designers. She was known for her pillbox hats, her tailored suits, and her simple sheath dresses. Women all over the world copied her look. She showed that style could be both sophisticated and accessible. Her influence on fashion was enormous. She used her image to represent the United States with grace and dignity on the world stage. She was a cultural ambassador, admired for her intelligence as much as her beauty. The world of Camelot came to a tragic end on November 22, 1963. President Kennedy was assassinated in Dallas, Texas. Jackie was sitting next to him in the car. Her courage during this terrible time amazed the world. She remained calm and dignified. She focused on comforting her children and honoring her husband's memory. She planned his state funeral with meticulous care. She wanted it to be worthy of a great leader. The image of her standing with her children, veiled in black, became a symbol of national grief. Her strength gave comfort to a mourning nation. After her husband's death, Jackie moved from Washington, D.C. to New York City. She wanted to escape the constant public attention. She tried to build a private life for herself and her children. However, the world remained fascinated by her. Photographers followed her everywhere. She was one of the most famous women in the world. She handled this pressure with her usual grace. She rarely gave interviews. She protected her privacy fiercely. She focused on raising Caroline and John Jr. She wanted to give them the stable and loving home she had worked to create in the White House. In 1968, Jackie made a decision that surprised many people. She married Aristotle Onassis, a wealthy Greek shipping magnate. He was much older than her. He could offer her something she desperately needed: protection and privacy. He had the money and power to shield her and her children from the public eye. Their marriage took place on his private Greek island, Skorpios. Some people criticized her for this decision. They did not understand why she would remarry. But for Jackie, it was a way to find safety and security after living through so much tragedy and fear. Her marriage to Onassis lasted until his death in 1975. During these years, she spent much of her time in Greece and Paris. She continued to be a devoted mother. She enjoyed the privacy that her new life afforded her. She could travel without constant scrutiny. She could spend quiet time with her children. Even though she was living abroad, she remained an American icon. People still followed her life with great interest. She was still Jackie, a figure of enduring fascination. After Onassis died, she returned to live in New York City full-time. After the death of her second husband, Jackie began a new chapter in her life. She decided to go to work. In 1975, she took a job as a consulting editor at Viking Press. Later, she moved to Doubleday. This was not a ceremonial role. She was a dedicated and serious editor. She worked on many books, especially those about art, history, and culture. She used her knowledge and her connections to bring important stories to the public. Her colleagues respected her for her hard work and her intelligence. She proved that she was more than just a famous face. Jackie also dedicated herself to historic preservation. She used her influence to save important landmarks. One of her most famous victories was saving Grand Central Terminal in New York City. The building was going to be demolished. Jackie led a campaign to protect it. She spoke at public hearings and raised awareness. Her efforts were successful. The station was declared a historic landmark and was saved for future generations. This work showed her deep love for history and her commitment to preserving the past. She believed that these beautiful buildings were part of the nation's heritage. Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis died on May 19, 1994, at the age of 64. She left behind a powerful legacy. She is remembered for many things. She was a stylish First Lady who brought art and culture to the White House. She was a symbol of strength and grace in the face of unimaginable tragedy. She was a devoted mother who protected her children. She was an intelligent professional who made a career for herself. She showed the world that a woman could be many things: beautiful, smart, strong, and independent. Today, people still admire Jackie O. Her life continues to inspire books, movies, and exhibitions. She remains a symbol of elegance and resilience. We remember her not just for the clothes she wore, but for the life she lived. She faced challenges with courage. She cherished history and worked to protect it. She created a private life for herself against all odds. Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis was a truly unique figure in American history. Her grace, intelligence, and strength left a lasting impression on the world that will not be forgotten.